It's the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast.
Okay.
Hello, this is episode 145 of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. I'm making myself look good today as usual. I'm joined once again by my co-host, the demigod of science fiction knowledge, Mr. Martin Fowler. Hello Martin, how are you?
Hello, and how are you? And how's things with you?
Oh, fine. We're having a really nice weather at the moment, so I've been out getting some sunshine. I'm doing a bit of painting. I'm doing a few things around the house, yeah, it's been pretty good. We're on half term over here as well, so it means that I don't have any work commitments, and I can just do things I want to do and not have to worry about anything else. How about you? What's happening in your part of the world?
I had a very nice weekend. I was out Friday with a dear friend, and that was very good. I went to a computer gaming retro fair near where I live. It was the new one.
Yes.
And it wasn't very good.
I saw it. I basically, it was more, well, although it's computer game based, it had a lot of science fiction things like DVDs.
But I thought.
I saw that and I thought it's not really, it's more like a Comic-Con kind of thing rather than.
But that's what I thought.
It wasn't defined as gaming, was it?
Yes. I know.
I saw that, which is why I think maybe people went there and thinking, well, this isn't quite what it's supposed to be.
Well,
and it's, you know what I mean? It was weird. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I bought a graphic novel. I mean, it's and they have them awful. I hate them pops. You know them figures with big heads in them little boxes.
Oh, the ones that go like that.
Yeah,
I can't stand those. Yeah, I don't know
everywhere.
I just
everywhere.
Some people collect them. They have like loads of the things.
Yeah, no, they do. The thing is, there's been a problem with it. The market's collapsed with them.
Oh, was there?
Well, it's oversaturation.
Yeah, exactly. Like fatigue or something.
Oversaturation. There were like some of them. One of them sold for about 40 grand. There's certain ones that are worth loads of money, but they got so greedy and they covered everything. Everything had come out, and markets collapsed. People are just not bothered. That place was full of them. They're trying to offload them now.
Do you think it's also partly just the living cost of living crisis where people haven't got much money and so they're not spending so much money on stuff?
I think that's gone, because I went to a convention in Battersea and it was a big one. There were hardly anybody there. And this thing I went to we're only £3 in, but it were pretty dead. It were in a big venue and I thought, where's all people? You know, so I assume this is where we're at now. Do you know what I mean? So
it's strange, isn't it, that at the moment, mind you, some people, it's weird when you sort of see these things that some people still have loads of money and they're going and doing this, that, and everything else. And yet other people, it's weird, isn't it? Some people don't get affected by this stuff at all. Other people, it's a really big thing, and hence they wouldn't maybe go to a Comic-Con or they wouldn't go to a games, you know, sort of like thing. So it is strange, but it's a weird idea.
They had a Comic-Con down with your way at the weekend, I think.
They do, apparently. And I actually, I contacted Portsmouth Comic-Con because I'm surprised you heard about it. I wasn't.
No, well, this weekend just gone, they had it.
Oh no, there's one the forthcoming weekend coming up, 3rd of June, I think
right,
it is.
Okay.
And it's got it's got Colin Baker, it's got Peter Davison, it's got Nicola Bryant. That's the only people I've heard of. And I did contact them to say whether we wanted to do some sort of Zoom recording and feature it on the show. And they came back to me and said, you need to contact somebody there. And I just thought, I can't be bothered with it. I mean, I sent them one message. So
just making it complicated.
Yeah, if they just said, we're up for it, then we could have. If you'd have had the time, we could have had like a 20-minute chat, featured it on a podcast, and they would have got advertising. But I kind of, when I got fobbed up with somebody else's name, I thought, I can't be bothered. I've got life.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't pursue it any further. So it's nice to have it in my part of the world in Portsmouth, but I just thought I can't be asked with this. I've got enough to worry about.
Well, it was same with a certain Star Trek person. I'm not going to mention his name.
That never happened, did it? No.
No, I after getting the messages and photographs and biography of the person's life.
Yeah.
I was sort of like
got this vibe that it wasn't going quite the way we thought it was.
It's not as if you're an A-lister, is it?
No, exactly.
You know, it's not Robert Downey Jr. on the podcast,
exactly.
You know.
I mean, when I
thought, fuck it.
When I contacted Vic Mignogna, on Star
Yeah.
Trek Continues. What a nice guy he was. He couldn't
Oh
have
yeah,
been any
that's what
nicer.
you want, isn't it?
And he spent time with us. We had a good hour's chat.
Yeah,
We
he
had
did.
a really it was informative, and I'm still very grateful for everyone at that fan series because I love it, I just think it was really good, really
And
good.
it was a certain person's birthday this week, and they were having a big drink-a-thon.
Oh yes, I saw that. I know. We're not mentioning who it is. Although I did feature them in a sort of like a weird end ident the other week as well. So if you go back, you'll see them sort of.
I saw that. I fell
I'm
off
sorry,
the
I
chair.
had to put that in.
I wasn't expecting that, and then
I
when
know,
it came
I
up,
know.
and I watched it twice. I couldn't stop laughing. I thought, like, shit.
And there was about 10 different things we going like this.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it.
I know. I should have done. And we're not mentioning who it is because of it.
No.
It was funny. I'm sorry, my humour. Right, Martin. Is there any? Shall we go into? Well, I don't know. Is there any sci-fi news? Is there, or should we go into the focus of the week? I haven't got any news at all. Oh, have you? What have you got?
I forgot what it was.
I'm trying to think if I've heard anything. We mentioned last night that guy who's going to be in Ahsoka. That actor's died. I can't remember his name, but it's a shame that he passed away. We did that last week. Star Trek, nothing at all. Apart from Picard, has gone back up into the streaming top 10 again, or has gone slightly higher. We did it. Nothing Star Wars. Oh no,
Strange New Worlds in 2 weeks.
And Strange New Worlds. No, I think it's 3 weeks still.
Oh, is it 3 weeks?
15th of June.
Right,
and
okay.
season 3 might be delayed from production because of the writer's strike, which is starting to affect everything. And that's getting on my nerves now because we're going to have a big void. Actually, we might mention this before, but we might have a bit of a void until this all gets sorted out. I'm hoping it's going to come back or get itself sorted out.
But what's important, we'll still be here.
I know, but we'll be bored. We'll have nothing to watch.
Well, we'll just moan about the writer's strike.
I've got lots of films I want to do after this one, When Worlds Collide. That's another good...
Have you seen that?
Of course I have.
Yeah, let's do that next week.
Yeah, so we'll do This Island Earth this week and When Worlds Collide
I
next
watched
week.
that. Funny enough, I watched that about 6 days ago.
I don't know why we thought the same thing at the same time. She didn't
And I'm
mention it
being
to me.
serious. I watched. It's one of my all-time favourite movies.
I love it. It is really scary.
Did you know there was a sequel?
Yeah, we've talked about this, but we've not
But
reviewed
it's only
it.
a book, but
Yes.
I would have liked to have seen a sequel. The book.
When Worlds
book is
Collide is
very
this
good.
week. We're delving into some 50s sci-fi at the moment, but
Yeah.
both the films and This Island Earth that we're going to
I
review.
think that would be 50s. You know.
Oh, I can have a look actually and see when it's made.
I think that.
I think it's early. It's not 40s, is it?
No, it might have been very early 50s.
It was.
But that defines special.
1951. I was right. It was early 50s.
Bloody, yeah, I knew that were early.
Yeah,
They
I know.
did that in 1951.
I didn't know. I thought it was more mid 50s, so it's before War of the Worlds, even.
Yeah. I mean, it's an inspiration. Is that film fantastic?
Oh, I
film.
know. It's such a clever idea. Anyway, we're not going to talk about that. We'll talk about that next week. but that'll be a
leave
good
it
one.
next week.
That'll be a
Definitely.
good one. Right.
And
I
I've
think...
got a challenge for you for the week after.
Oh, I know what it's going to be.
I have got something I want you to watch. 5 episodes at least.
Oh, go on. What is it again? Is that Crusade thing?
No. That will leave Cat from Outer Space. You've slinked your way out of that one. Do you know what I mean?
Which one? Then you?
No, I'm good. This is punishment. This is
What?
punishment for avoiding Cat from Outer Space.
So what is it? I've got to.
I want you to watch the first 4 episodes of Baywatch Nights season 2.
Season 2. Why not season 1?
Season 2. It's on my. It's like the Hoth goes all X-Files.
Well, I like Baywatch. I don't mind admitting it.
No,
I
you're not
like
meant to fucking like it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna
What?
get you.
You're not supposed to like it.
No. He made
all
a
right.
spin-off
So you want
series.
So we're going to make an episode on Baywatch Nights season 2. The first.
Only season 2 because season 2 just.
Is
like
it classed as
detective.
sci-fi?
Yeah, it goes into future and
All
stops
right,
and
and it's on
too
your channel.
early in
It's on your channel.
invasions.
It's on your channel,
And
right?
he makes Dracula as well.
Oh God! All right, and it's on your channel,
And
right?
then next day he's back at the Baywatch with the rest of them as if it.
All right, all right. So if you remind me, and you'll have to remind me because I'll forget. So not next week, the week after. Right.
Yes.
Okay, I'll look forward to that. And I'm supposed to hate it,
You
right?
better not like it.
Well, I know, but I kind of like Baywatch. I just like it.
It's
I like-
really cheesy, though. You know.
Yeah, well, no, what was that film you were talking about that you wanted to see again?
I forgot now.
Oh, what was it called? It was some
What, the
film-
cat from outer space?
No, that David Hasselhoff film. There was something you talked about.
Oh,
that you was-
that, yeah.
Yeah, so you wanted to see, what was that film you wanted to see? It was the one with David Hasselhoff?
David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury.
Nick Fury.
Agent
So,
of S.H.I.E.L.D. It
Yeah.
was Marvel were testing the waters with one of their characters. Obviously, we did get Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. a few years ago.
oh, so it's
This
linked to
is
that
like-
thing. Oh, okay, I
yeah,
forgot about
this
that.
is
Oh,
like
it is Marvel.
this was made like 15 years before. It would have
Ah,
flopped,
okay.
but the Hoff plays the main character.
Okay. Well,
It's
I-
really bad.
I
it's
don't know
not
if I'm
good.
ever. I might watch the Baywatch thing, but I don't think I could watch this thing. I don't know. I'm not into. I don't know. I'll see what it goes. But
Okay. No.
there's loads of
Fair
things I
enough.
want to review. But like I said, some of this stuff is it's a little bit too cheesy for my taste.
It's like we're onto the literature. We're onto the real connoisseur stuff over the next 2 weeks. I mean, you know, we are, aren't we? The real
Oh yeah.
connoisseur
Both.
sci-fi.
And then another one I do want to do is the Incredible Shrinking Man as well. At some point,
Oh,
that's
we've done that.
another. No, we haven't.
Well, it freaks me out. That film.
No, we haven't done the Incredible Shrinking Man. We've
that
done.
film freaked me out.
Oh yeah. So it looks like
terrified me.
we're going to be delving into a lot of 50s retro movies soon. So this is fine. So
They did The Incredible Shrinking Woman, you know.
never saw that.
Never seen it.
No, I've never seen it. Was it a
Never
proper
seen
film? Was it?
I think it probably. I don't know if it's a sequel. It might. It's probably one of them really.
Because
bad
it's like The
movies.
Fly, like the Vincent Price The Fly. There was a sequel to that, The Son of the Fly, I
Yeah.
think it was called. And Vincent Price appeared in that as well. It wasn't as good. It was all right. I didn't dislike it, but it wasn't a patch in the original.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going off topic. So, This Island Earth. You ready for the review?
Oh yeah. Bring
Right. Let's
bring
go
on
for
the
it.
T-Falleds.
Exactly. Let's hit that jingle. Here we go.
It's the
Solar Sci-Fi.
focus of the week.
All right. So we are talking about a film which was released in the early 50s. I actually only just gave it a rewatch today. I haven't seen it for a while, but I had actually forgotten a lot of it. I've not seen it for many, many years, but it was a very intriguing story of these scientists who it was very clever how they start off with, first of all, they get this stuff sent to them where they have to put it together. And it was like a communication device, wasn't it? I think before that, the guy who's also a aircraft pilot, his plane almost crashes, but this weird green beam saves him. He lands, and then this intelligence starts to talk to them about stuff that they could do for in respect to their scientific studies and stuff. So let me just ask you. Obviously, we're going to give an analysis as we go along with it. But what do you think about this film?
This film is one of the best science fiction films ever made.
Yeah, it really goes
Decades.
there. It really goes there.
Decades beyond its time.
Yeah.
And to do this in the 50s, I mean, everybody sort of like, they all thought it were like the cheesy movies.
No.
Came
This
some
is
classics.
solid. This is
And
solid.
this is solid.
Yeah, it's really solid. And
Yeah.
for the time they made it, it actually looks good. It's got good acting. It's got a great idea of, this race who are they're looking for us to, what is it? They want us to create, was it weapons or defenses based on our technology?
Well, no, they're going to flee their planet because
they're fleeing it, but they were also
because I
looking-
think they caused the war. I think they were just getting their comeuppance.
But why were they getting us then to go over to their?
No, because what they were doing, their world were falling. Obviously, they started some interstellar war with somebody,
Mm.
and they got their asses kicked because they seem quite vindictive. What's he called?
Oh,
Brat
I'm just-
or something.
yeah, I'm just trying to
the
get all the-
scientist, the
Yeah.
decent one, the good one.
Yes.
And they got their asses kicked because they were all. So what were left of them with their super technology, they were going to conquer our planet.
Hmm.
They were after uranium and nuclear power.
Which they were just making uranium on Earth, wasn't it? This
Yeah,
is
but they were going to come to Earth and enslave us, and then their planet would get destroyed. The other aliens, I think, had disappeared.
we never saw the other aliens, did we? Apart
No,
from their bombs.
No,
Which is interesting.
but it looked like it pointed out they started whatever this was.
Yeah, yeah, and of course we weren't aware of that until halfway through the film, because I was surprised that we actually got them. They got taken to their planet on their ship, and then they had to go through this sort of like decontamination tubes, all starting to get through to the other end and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it says here. Let me get a quick bit of information about it. It says upon its release, the film was praised by critics who cited the special effects, well-written script, and eye-popping Technicolor as being its major assets. In 1996, it was edited down and lampooned in Mystery Science Theater movie, a spin-off of the popular Riff television series, Mystery Science Theater. Never seen that. Is that any good? What's that like?
Well, it's the guy and two robots in the cinema taking piss out of sci-fi movies.
You've actually mentioned this before, but I've never seen it. You
Yeah,
have talked
Mystery
about
Science Fiction. It's worth a look.
I might check that out.
They're on YouTube. The episodes are on YouTube.
Mystery Science Theater.
They went away for a while, then it sort of came back again. They bring it back every now and again.
Okay.
basically.
Yeah, that might be interesting. It also features as well in Battlestar Galactica 1980. In episode 1, the future kids
It does.
are on Earth, and you see the alien at the end when she's trying to flee it and stuff like that, which I thought was quite cool.
Do we have to talk about Battlestar Galactica 1980?
We're going to review it in 3 weeks' time, aren't we? You do. If you make me do Baywatch nights, we've got to do.
All right. We'll
1980.
do Battlestar Galactica 1980.
I don't mind that. Anyway, we're not talking about
The
that.
Viper bikes were cool.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Well, okay, we'll talk about that. And I liked Adama's beard as well. It's very distinguished as well.
What, on the Milky Bar kid that sat on a chair?
Yeah, Dr. Zayas. Not Dr. Zayas. What was his name?
Dr. Z.
Dr. Z, wasn't it? Yeah.
Looked like he'd escaped from a Milky Bar
He
kid,
did look
actually.
like the Milky Bar Kid. I never noticed
did,
that until
he
you
did.
said. Okay, we'll talk about that in 3 or 4 weeks' time. Oh, God, I've got a lot of bloody Photoshop work to do now.
Right.
Lost my chain of thought. So, obviously, do you think that when this film came out, because it was pretty groundbreaking for the fact that it was, I don't know, it just seemed like it was really well ahead of how other films in the future would see things like space travel, alien planets. It was, the special effects were really solid, I think, for the time they made it.
There's sort of 4 films that define the 50s to me.
It's in
Lord of the Worlds.
I was going to say that. That's the one.
The Earth, When Planets Collide.
Yeah, which we're doing next week.
The Incredible Shrinking Man.
Yeah,
And this.
yeah. They're my
This
top
Island
4.
Death.
Yeah.
Out of the 50s. Oh, no, sorry. The Forbidden Planet is the top film out of all of them. Forbidden Planet. Them films, 5 films, sorry, defined the best of that decade.
I like The Fly as well, the original Fly as well. That's one of my
Yeah, well,
favorites.
all right, 6, so we'll have The Fly. But I'd say 90% of it was terrible. The 50s, really. I'm a big fan
Yeah. A lot of
of the
50s.
50s.
There's not a
Awful.
lot in the 50s I can watch, actually. I
of
don't know why.
but they're the films you can sit down.
And they're
watch.
quality made. Yeah, it's very strange.
I mean, I've seen this island 30, 40 times in my lifetime.
I've not seen it for ages. I mean, when I watched it today, I forgot about the end when the ship crashes, and you see it, and it starts to go. It's like the flames are coming along, and it just ends with the UFO just crashing into the sea, and this explosion. It goes the end. I thought, yeah, it's quite. That really stood out.
I love the. I think they called the TV thing. You know when they had that TV.
Yeah,
when they built it.
Zomatron or something.
The Automatron. Or
That's
something,
it.
with the dial.
Yes.
And his head. I just thought that was just amazing. The quality of it. Do you know what I mean? It was like, and it had the disintegrator ray as well.
Yeah, and it goes through lead or something as well.
Yeah, it destroys that instruction book.
Yes, and the actual Odomatron, was you just said it.
Yeah,
it gets destroyed as well because they try to pull the plug or something, and it's got a self-destruct thing to stop the technology.
Because he's like he's like flying a jet at the beginning. He's the
Yes, he's
scientist,
yeah,
isn't he?
yeah.
And that green beam surrounds his jet.
That's it.
And you're thinking what's going on here, and then suddenly he gets this package, and he orders more from this like weird corporation, and he builds. It's a test to get intelligent people.
Yeah,
under
it's
them.
very clever because they're sort of trying
Very
to find.
clever.
Yeah, I like that. I like that as well.
And then we got into like when they get to that secret, even when they gets on that aeroplane with no pilots, it's
In the
like it's
fog.
all secret. And I loved all that. It were like where we're going with this now.
Yeah, and then you have the two scientists who are at the place that the plane goes to. One is almost like an ex-girlfriend that he knows, although she's not really kind of admitting that she knows him that well from the past. And the other guy, and of course it turns out that they're really skeptical about the whole thing, but they don't trust him. And eventually they they start conversing, and I just think it was really good. I don't know what it was about the film, but seeing it again today just reminded me that it was actually a really good movie.
Well, I mean, you weren't expecting that film to take you off to another planet, and
That's the thing. That's what
you weren't
surprised me.
expecting that. When I first saw it, from where it more like an alien secret base on Earth or something.
Yeah, I thought it was still on
front.
Earth. I'm surprised it went back. To
And
another
then
planet.
suddenly we're in the middle of an interstellar war,
Yeah, I know.
with
I was quite
another
surprised by
race.
that. Yeah,
and
I
they're
was surprised
losing.
about that.
And this film, it just opens up the potential where you could have gone with it. You could have made a sequel.
I was going to say that. I mean, it's never had a remake or a sequel, has it?
I've never understood why. I think
And it's
goes-
really, really. I suppose in some ways that it's had so many loose remakes of a similar premise that perhaps it got lost. But it's a shame because it was when it was made, it was very original the way it stood out.
It
And now
still
we've
is.
had plenty of films of UFOs where they come to Earth and their planet is dying. I mean, it's been remade in not exactly a complete remake,
But this
loosely.
were different though. I know where you're coming from with that same setup all the time, but this were different somehow. It just the whole setup of it were different because from where you started at the beginning to suddenly where you were on their planet, you weren't expecting that, and the storyline about his race is dying. They're going to come to Earth and conquer it because they started somewhat with somebody else, got their asses kicked. And it opens the door to something much bigger here for me. And I just love this film.
Me too.
Even the makeup thing when they did the teeth eyelids,
I think it wasn't. I
looked
don't know,
good.
it just worked. I think it looked good. I mean, like the way that the heads are slightly bigger and there's a
Well, it
slight.
looked good.
Yeah,
There's
looked
everything.
very good.
Everything. It's very rare for me. Very few films where you get everything up to 100% right, and it's quality. And this film is one of them movies.
it is.
Is it based on a book? Is it based on a book or?
Let's have a look. It goes like plot, cast, production. No, it just goes on about the actual principal photography, references. No, I don't know where it came from. I can't see on here exactly who.
Right.
was
Well,
the
if
first.
somebody wrote that back then, that were a screenplay. They were a genius.
Maybe it was. I don't know.
Interesting.
I want to talk about a bit more about this, but unfortunately our Zoom is about to fade out. So we're just going to fade out for a second, and then we'll be right back. Sorry about this. Might be a second. All right, and we're back. Sorry about that. Just while we're actually coming back from Zoom, there was some interesting information about how this film has been received in popular culture, which was worth a share. It says that the design of the Metaluna monitor has proved itself to be an iconic look for an alien, influencing even H.R. Geiger's design for the xenomorphs in the Alien franchise.
Oh, cool.
This has led to the design being used in several homages, as well as the Metaluna monitor himself making appearances in various pieces of film, television, games, and other forms of pop culture. Cast of films released a 9 to 12 minutes, depending on projector speed, 8mm cutting from the film, and retitled it War of the Planets for the home movie audience, which began in 1961. In Explorers 1985, I've heard of that film, I can't remember it. One of the films that Ben, played by Ethan Hawke, watches is This Island Earth. In that film and this one, the character builds a device which helps from an alien so that they may meet. So that's an interesting thing. A brief homage to This Island Earth is seen in E.T. the Extraterrestrial from 1982. E.T. turns the television on during the showing of the film at the scene where Cal and Ruth are being abducted by the aliens, and Cal says, "They're pulling us up." A segment of the television series Wonder Woman Season 2 Episode 10 from 1977 uses space battle footage from the film, and the alien planet shown is also recycled from This Island Earth footage. The album Happy Together from 1987 by the Capella group, the Nylons, featured a track called This Island Earth. There's quite a few actually. What else is it? There's quite a few. I've obviously mentioned the Battlestar Galactica one already. Because actually, the Bataluna, the mutant that we saw, it did remind me slightly of the Mars Attack aliens. The brains looked slightly similar. I know it wasn't exactly the same, but I saw a slight parallel with those two. Did you see that?
I think that you might have a good point there, because the Topps cards that came out in the 50s.
I wonder if they were influenced by this alien, which we saw in this film.
I think they were, because it does make sense.
Because I was watching it today, and you saw the big sort of like brain sort of shape at the top. That's just like a Mars Attack alien.
Yeah, because in 1950s in America, the Topps cards that came out, they were like telling a story. With these kind of very collectible now.
Yeah.
And obviously the film they made a few years back, Tim Burton's Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
That's what that film is based on, them cards.
Which was based on reference
on
to
the
this.
mutant
Yeah. So that's why.
It won't surprise me.
No, it's good.
But you've forgotten one important factor here.
Go for it. What is it? What you got?
Tefal.
Yeah. Tefal head.
Tefal.
Yeah, I know.
The non-stick iron pan.
Yeah. Because I remember Tefal was being used back in the day for certain references to that, and of course
it was. So you remember, because there were. I remember. I worked with somebody, and they used to call him Tefal head.
Yeah.
You always met people, and there was somebody I worked with, and everybody at work called him Tefal head.
What is it? Is the shape of the hair? Is it? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I used to have my hair right. It used to be sort of like combed back, and I occasionally did hear the old term Tefal head, but I didn't know that this was the reference and where it came from.
Yeah, well, that's where I think they took them out, because they were all. You know, when you looked at the alien, I mean, they were very advanced, so they had bigger brains, didn't they?
Yeah. So
that's why they had big heads.
So is it based on the forehead, or is it the hairstyle, or is it?
I think it's both, because I think the forehead, it goes up like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But the makeup, what they used on them, were absolutely fantastic.
It was really good.
I forgot what he was called. The decent one. I really didn't. I'll tell you what upset me about this film. When they escaped Metaluna, when the planet went up, when you just saw it disintegrate.
Oh no, yeah.
And like, I suppose that was the first time I'd seen the planet get destroyed, actually. As a kid.
I think the character was called Exeter.
Exeter, that's it.
That was the good one.
They said to him, "Come with us. You could show us so much."
Yeah.
And he sat there going, "No, I've got to go because it's end of my civilization."
Yeah.
And he says, "I'm going to wander the stars," but then he ended up crashing into the sea, and it were like, come on, man, get on the fucking plane with them and help the human race out, get them to the stars. You know what I mean?
Do you know what?
Sit there feeling sorry for yourself at the big jet.
I watched the end today. Do you know what? I actually had the goosebumps, the hairs on my arms. It was just really.
Yeah, but he
was
shouldn't
well
have
done.
died today. He shouldn't have died,
it was
really.
tragic.
I like Exeter.
It made the film so much more significant because
he knew his people were wrong.
He was wrong, and he was in the middle. He was just trying to sort of like a very, very bad situation. I thought it was a really solid film.
Because he didn't want to enslave the human race.
No,
he didn't want to enslave, but the others did.
He respected the human race, the others didn't. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's what the issue was. Yeah. Really good film. Surprised me how much I enjoyed it today, actually. I thought to myself, I know of it. I think you know the film better than me, but I've not seen it for a while. I thought, no, because I'm on half term, I thought, I'll give this a quick watch today. And I watched it, and I was really surprised how much I enjoyed it. Definitely. If anything, it's gone up in my estimation compared to the last time I saw it. It was that solid. It was really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, really good. So anything else you want to say about this film before we sort of sum it up?
It's a masterpiece, isn't it? I would have liked a sequel to it. I think. I mean, the other part of the conversation is what I'll throw out there to you. Could they remake it? Could it be a TV series? Very high, expensive Netflix job. I mean, they could do so much with this now.
Well,
Just the story alone.
I'm thinking about The Day the Earth Stood Still when that got remade, and I didn't mind the remake, but the original was so much more significant. This Island Earth, I'm surprised it hasn't had a complete remake called This Island Earth. I think it would be certainly. I don't know whether it would work because there's been so many other science fiction films which have, to a degree, a similar premise. Their planet
there's been that much now.
That's the problem.
This was the first film. This was the first.
This is the head of it. This is
number one.
Yeah.
This is from that one film. 1,000 branches expanded from it.
That's right. So I'd love to see a remake of it. I don't know. It could happen. I think science fiction, this sort of genre, it's being a little bit less popular at the moment in mainstream movies. I don't know. You know,
to be honest, I'll be honest with you. You know, the Keanu Reeves.
I didn't mind that. I didn't mind it.
I didn't mind it at all.
No,
do you know what I loved about that film? I loved Gort.
Yeah, it was really creepy. The new Gort.
30, 40 foot
huge bloody thing, wasn't it? Yeah,
I loved it. You know when he walked out of that glowing light, that scene. I just thought it would that's what Gort would be.
Yeah.
You know, I actually thought the film was quite good.
I've got no problem with that at all. I think it's a very good remake. Actually, in the future, we'll have to remove. I don't think we've done the original. We've never done the remake, but I think at one point.
No, let's do it.
Put it on the shopping list.
To the list.
Put it on the list. So I suppose it's that point where we've got to sort of like review it as to what we give it out of 10. So I'll say this week. Let me go ahead. I'd say I'm going to give it, especially after how I saw it today, I'm going to give it a 9.5. I'm going to give it a high rating, not 10.
You had me worried there. No, you did. You had me worried because I was thinking
7 or something.
No way you're going to give this a 7.
No way, no.
But I did have that
9.5. I'm going to give it a 9.5.
You might have gone
Very
for that.
solid. Yeah.
I'm going to. I thought it surely can't choose a 7 for this.
No, it's too.
No, I agree. It's a 9.5.
Yeah, it's really, really solid. I really enjoyed it. I'm so surprised how good it was. And it's a film where I just saw it this time and I was really blown away with it. I just thought it was really good.
But you never get bored of it.
No. But why is it? Why have I not retained it more from previous? Like the 1953 War of the Worlds, I know practically every single thing they're going to say about in that film. I've seen it.
Yeah.
But this film is very similar. It's very good, but I've not retained it so much more. I will this time. I will.
Like War of Worlds is a great film, and I love the Martian Walk. I love the designs of them.
Love it.
But that's it's just aliens invading Earth. That's it. They're conquerors because they can.
Yeah.
You know, but I think with like this Island Earth, you are touching on sort of Star Trek territory a bit.
I could see that. Even though some of the ships in the saucer, it reminded me of the front of the Enterprise going along. And all he needed was the tuna cells to the back and the alien race. It could have been Star Trek.
But the concept of a higher advanced race at the end, he could have gone with them and changed the world, but he didn't because he thought we've got to get there.
And it could have been it could have well been adapted to a Star Trek episode, definitely. Even the race would have fitted well in TOS.
Yeah,
you know, I think
it just somewhat there.
Yeah,
this film is the foundation stone.
Yeah. Same like Forbidden Planet was for Forbidden Planet and the others.
On your point, I think like War at Wells, you keep going back to that. I think I go back to this film, This Island Earth, not a lot. It's every few years I'll go back to it.
I go
Because
to
I
Waterworks
think-
more often for some reason.
It's like a bottle of wine. It's fermented beautifully, and every couple of years you get one of them bottles out,
And then
and
you realise
that's
just
it.
how good it is. Yeah, you forget how
and then
good
you
it is.
put it away for the next few
And
years.
then you're blown away when you see it. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a very good analogy. Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree
I
entirely.
think that's where I'd go with this.
Yeah,
I'm very,
absolutely.
very proud of this film. When I saw it as a kid, that was the first time I saw it, about 5 or 6, I was just in front of that TV.
Yeah.
My mind was just being blown away.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't retain it so much when I was younger, but I definitely will now. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm definitely going to watch it again soon. Even in the next few months or something. I think it's that
Yeah.
good. I mean,
Yeah,
that
I might-
surprised how good I enjoyed it today. Actually, I'm really surprised how much I liked it. I want to see it
But
again.
it's intelligent, mate. The film's
I just
intelligent.
like it. I just like everything about it. I just
You know what I
everything,
mean?
the music, the special effects, the acting, the characters, the ideas. That's what science fiction is all about. That's why we're here every
Yeah.
week.
That is the
What appeals to
true.
us.
What you saw today was the true science fiction.
Really loved it.
movie.
Really, really loved it.
Yeah.
It was so good. I'm really
Yeah.
glad that you feel the same way, Martin. This is what I love doing stuff with you because you are so often on my wavelength, and this is why it's so enjoyable.
No, definitely.
Love it.
And I'm looking forward to doing When Earths Collide.
Oh,
When
next
Worlds
week,
Collide.
absolutely,
Yeah.
Martin. Well, look, I think that's pretty much covers the
Yeah.
this podcast episode. I've really enjoyed it, Martin. Thank you very much. I haven't got anything much to leave with, so I think we're just going to wrap things up. But
Yeah.
if you haven't seen it, please check it out. It's such a good film. Obviously, it has dated because it's an older film, but compared to so many films of that era, it really holds up well.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that if you give it a chance, you're in for a real treat. So check it out. And if you ever do see it, please put a comment on our YouTube channels. Tell us what you think about it. We'd love to get some feedback. So please keep that in mind. Right, Martin, thank you very much. We're back with another classic science fiction film from the 50s next week. Until then, live long and prosper.
I just want to say, I don't want to say to life immortal or live long and prosper. I don't want to say that this way. I'm going to be a bit different.
Okay, go on.
I'm going to say, see you next week. Klaatu Nikto Bar.
What a way to end the podcast. He messed it completely
I
up.
got it wrong. Klaatu Barada Nikto.
Nikto. There we go. We'll leave it there.
Well,
We'll see you next week. Thank you.
see you next week.